Travel with me.
Hey fellow humans, Mina here. Welcome back to another Drive-In Talk. Here it is. I did it. I finally finished this godforsaken trilogy. What am I talking about? I'm talking about 50 Shades Freed by E.L. James, part of the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy franchise thing. I think this book was slightly better than the second book, but only slightly, and that's mostly because of the ending climax, which was meh. There will be plenty of spoilers with this review, but as with the first two books, I'm not going to say skip this if you don't want any spoilers, because this series has been out for a hot minute already, and everyone and their dog has talked about it. While I did rate this book as a 2-star, that was only because there were a few scenes that I actually enjoyed, and also because there was barely any use of Anna's inner goddess and inner conscience. The rest of this book was a slog to get through though. So much, yet so little happened. Anyway, on to my thoughts. In the last book, Anna says yes to marrying Christian. Cool. When this book first started, I expected the time skip after the wedding to be a blessing. Instead, the first 15% of this book was about their honeymoon and wedding flashbacks. Like, we get it. We know they got married. If you really wanted us to start at the wedding and honeymoon, why not just start the book there instead of having it be a 15% flashback? Did I mention the first 15% of this book is a flashback? After we finally move on from flashback land, Anna returned to work at SIP. Anna and Christian continue to send each other emails, and none of them are about work. In said emails, Anna wanted to keep her maiden name, but when Christian sees that, he throws a hissy fit because she won't change her name at work and the world won't know she's mine. I want your whole world to begin and end with me, is a quote Christian says. And then he chooses to barge into a workplace to discuss this. Actually, Christian and Anna have way too many personal meetings at SIP, and that's not counting the countless flirty emails. Side note, it turns out she really did get the editor position because Gray bought SIP, or at least he was a massive part of it. I feel bad for all the people who worked there for years, and yet Anna gets an editor promotion even though she's only been working there for like less than a month, if I recall correctly. Please ignore the Facebook message I just got. Anywho, later Christian is super pissed at Anna for disobeying him when she goes out for a drink with Kate. Yes, she went back on her word when she said she would go straight home with Kate after work, but she made a very good point about Christian in the novel, explaining why it's not a big deal. She's an adult and is allowed to make her own decision. Also, she was safer out than in, because if she were home, she would have been kidnapped by Jack. Yes, she should have informed Christian she was going out as a change in plan, but he really doesn't have any say in whether she does or not. I know Jack is a security risk, but Anna is constantly followed by security everywhere anyway, so it really doesn't matter where she goes. At around 59%, I thought there was a continuity error. Christian and Anna are emailing, then the date switches from September 1st evening to September 5th morning and stays September 5th in the next email. I thought it was a time skip, but they were still talking about the dinner they were supposed to attend to that night. But reading on, I guess there was a time skip, but it was done rather proudly because I doubt most people are like me and read the dates of the emails. At least we didn't have to read about the boring function they were supposed to attend, so that's a plus. Then at 73%, we get an unexpected, but not really at all, positive baby test. Though we could all see it coming a mile away, it still came out of nowhere. I was mildly enjoying this story, more than the last book, until this pregnancy storyline came in. Christian gets super angry at Anna for getting pregnant because she wasn't keeping up to date on her birth control. Then Anna invades his privacy after he gets drunk by going through his phone. I don't condone this, but then again, Christian basically did the same thing to her so many times that I guess they're evenly matched. They both shouldn't be doing this type of thing, no. Finally, at around 80%, we get some action with a kidnapping scene, only Jack doesn't say where to drop off the money he wants. Somehow she ends up with a car and a rider that Jack provided, but she could not have taken it and found another way, in which case, again, how does she know where to meet him? They never discussed where to bring the money. Then it was over rather quickly, and we spent more time recovering with Anna than the more exciting kidnapping and ransom scene. Side note, Jack was blackmailing Elizabeth to help him with this whole scheme. I completely forgot who Elizabeth was. She was apparently his assistant at SIP, but she was so insignificant that I don't recall if I read about her in this book or the last, and I don't really care what happened to her since she was such a minor character. Also, Anna leaves work too often. How does she keep her job? Maybe It must be Christian's influence. Also, Anna and Christian are referring to each other as Mr. and Mrs. Gray. It was cute at first when they first got married, but it got old real fast. And it never stops, even in the epilogue. They're still doing it. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it was annoying. That all being said, I'm happy I finally finished this trilogy. So I can now say I've read it, and I can see for myself what the hype is about. It was meh overall. I read much spicier romance and better stories. The sex was pretty tame for the most part. I guess when it was first published, it could have been super spicy, but now it's just okay. Do I plan on watching the movies? Absolutely not. I saw the first when it came out, and it was a slog to watch too. I only have the need to finish books in the series, hence the hate rating of this trilogy, and not movies. So yeah, will I read the series from Christian's POV? Maybe, but if I do, it'll be another hate read, and not anytime soon. This series isn't the worst ever. It still does read like the fan fiction it once was. James even likes to sprinkle in the old little title of Master of the Universe in each book to remind you that it was indeed a Twilight fanfic. Would I recommend this trilogy? I could see some of the appeal, but I found better books to read. So yeah, how about you guys, my fellow humans? Have you read the books, seen the movies, both, either? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you even plan on checking the books and or movies out? I'm not going to watch the movies. I seen the first because I was curious to see what the hype was about back when I couldn't access the books. And so I watched the movies when I think it was on Netflix or something, and it was a slog to get through. And then I finally decided I need to finish this because I can't have a book unfinished, and it was a trilogy, so I had to finish the whole trilogy. And I decided to hate read it for science. It's bad, but I don't know, maybe not as bad as everyone thinks, but it's still pretty bad. I've definitely read spicier books and way better romances and better stories overall throughout the years. I guess maybe back in the day, could have been, I could see the controversy, but yeah, I've definitely read spicier. Anyway, that's all I gotta say for now. If you want to keep hearing more about stuff, be sure to follow me in all your favorite socials. Links below. Stay safe and take care. Bye!